Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Am I audible?
Sir, audible but low, sir.
Oh, now check.
Same, sir. Low.
Hello. Now,
Okay, sir.
yeah.
Sir, October 15th we have college, sir.
Uh, s- we did not get any what do you call the confirmation mail. So once I get, I will inform. But from today onwards, all the faculty are coming. Background noise is not coming, right? Any background noise is coming? Fan sound. Voice is clear.
Yeah, voice is clear. There's no background noise.
Okay. Okay, good morning to all of you. Today's lecture on the RSA algorithm in module 2. In the previous lecture, we have discussed some basic concept in a public key crypto system. So we have seen two different types of the systems, crypto systems. One is encryption with public key, and another is encryption with private key. So if we are using encryption with public key, we will call it as a confidentiality. If we are using encryption with private key, we will call it as a authentication. Correct? Hello, please confirm. Are you getting my voice right?
Yes, sir.
All of you, please be in active mode. Hello. Roll number 6, A1. So all of you, please share your videos. Yeah.
Krishna Sai.
After 9-5, I will not admit anyone. So please remember this point from the next class onwards. Is it clear? So, and we have seen the block diagrams. Suppose this fellow wants some information from Bob. So initially, the receiver will generate pair of keys. That is, one is called public key, another is private key. So public key will be stored in public register, which can be used by the senders. So sender uses the public key to encrypt the message. Then the receiver side, receiver will use her or his private key to decrypt the message. So that is one type of the encryption. Another is, so similar case, the when the Bob is what you call generating the pair of keys, so he is using his own private key to encrypt the message. Then in the receiver side, receiver will use the sender's public key to decrypt the message. So which we will call it as a digital signature or authentication. So all of you, is these two encryption techniques are clear? One is authentication, another is confidentiality. So please confirm, all of you are clear with these two things.
Yes, sir.
Right. So today the new topic is now we have seen the encryption decryption. So how the encryption will take place. So what are the different algorithm compared to the from the Caesar cipher or Vernam cipher or whatever the transposition technique or substitution technique. So now we are going to use some mathematical functions, especially the public key crypto systems will be used is what you call the exponential functions. So today we are going to learn or discuss applications. So where we use different types of algorithms and what are the requirements? The requirements is nothing but what are the steps in the cryptography process. And what are the type of attacks possible in this public key crypto systems? Now, after that, we will see what is this RSA algorithm, what are the steps for the encryption, what are the steps for the decryption. Clear about the learning objectives? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Right. So applications is nothing but how we are going to use these algorithms. In this, please listen carefully. Encryption or decryption. See, in all the process of this cryptography, encryption, decryption will be there. But what is the difference between the encryption, decryption, digital signature, and key exchange? We should know. In this, encryption will be performed by using public key of the receiver, and the decryption will be performed by, yes, tell me, if I'm using public key for the
Private key.
encryption, and the private key will be used for the decryption, and private key will be used for decryption. So here in this application or in this process, so maybe all algorithms will be used. So that is, I will show the table. So there are 4 algorithms we have to discuss: RSA, elliptic curve, Diffie, Hellman, DSS. These 2 algorithms will be used for these 3 applications, but these 2 will be used only for one application. That is also we will discuss. Now in the digital signature, yes, can you tell me encryption will be done by which key? Decryption will be done by which key? Anyone? So in this case, encryption will be done using private key. Yes or no? Then only the receiver knows the message is coming from which user, or which we can say particular person or something. So encryption is done using private key, that is sender's private key, we can say, using sender's private key. And the decryption is performed using public key. Yes or no? That is what the other technique or other cryptography or crypto system, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So digital signature will be performed by this DSS algorithm. But we can use RSA, we can use elliptic curve also, but the only DSS or the algorithm will be used for digital signature. And the key exchange is the 2 who are the sender or receiver will cooperate to exchange the keys. So the 2 operators will cooperate to exchange keys for a particular session only, or we can say or transaction. And remember, this key exchange is valid for only for short period of time. So that is something like this. OTP will be shared now from the bank side. OTP will come, so that will be valid for only maybe 30 seconds or maybe 45 seconds. Correct? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and as I told, so which algorithm will be used for which type of cryptography? So encryption, decryption, these 2 only. Digital signature, the 3 algorithms will be used for the digital signature. For key exchange, 3 algorithms and so on. Okay. We have to discuss all the algorithms one by one. We will see. So what are the requirements? Requirements is nothing but the process how we will encrypt. So it's very simple. So always remember computationally easy. So in all the points there is a computationally easy. So so what is the computational easy means? So for party B, that means the receiver, he should be able to generate public key and private key. So it must be computationally easy. So when we design the algorithm, so that must be there. So the receiver should easily generate the public key and private. And also in the sender side, it is computationally easy for a sender A. So if I know the public key, the sender and the message, so the computation must be easy to generate the ciphertext. So that is also one requirement. Is these 2 points clear? See, it is nothing but the algorithm process only, but the requirements means so easy to generate public key and private key by the receiver. So easy to encrypt the message using the key and the message. Yes, clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, when the receiver is trying to decrypt the message from the ciphertext, that also should be computationally easy. See, we should not make very large computation so that even for the decryption and the encryption, who is trying to sending or receiving, it must not be computationally very large. That should not be like that. Algorithm must be computationally easy for the sender side and the receiver side. But for the opponent, it must be impractical. So that is the only the main requirement. Correct? Right? So these 4, 5 for the opponent who is trying to decrypt the message or determining the keys. So it can computationally infeasible. Infeasible means impractical. So for an advisory means who is trying to attack. So if we know the public key, so it must be impractical to determine the private key. Yes or no? If he knows the private key, he can decrypt the message because public key can be known because publicly it is available. And similarly, it is computationally infeasible again for an opponent. If we know the public key and the ciphertext also, so it must be very difficult to recover the original message. That is also one requirement. So is these 2 points are clear? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
So for an opponent, computation must be impractical to determine the private key or to discover the message also. This is very simple. So any key can be used for the decryption. Any key can be used for the encryption. Any key in the sense private key or public key. Okay. 2 keys can be applied in either order. Either order in the sense, if he is using decryption using public key, encryption must be done by the private key. Decryption is done by the private key, encryption must be done by the public. So that is we know already. So clear all these 6 requirements for the encryption or decryption in the public key crypto systems. If you did not understand anything, you can ask question. Yes, all of you? Clear? Please confirm. Right. So can anybody guess what type of attacks possible? Yes? Always one attack is there always. What is that? Yes. Roll number 630. Yeah, brute force attack. Always see whenever keys are there. So always some fellows will try all the different possible keys. So always there is a brute force attack. But so vulnerable to brute force attack means so it is possible to apply the brute force attack. So what is the what we can say? How can we resist? By using the large number of keys. So if the key size is very large, so the combinations will come very the large or huge combinations will come. So it may take some more time to decrypt the message or determining the keys. Okay. So there are two different other attacks also, but that is something like this. Somehow, see, so whenever suppose whenever we design for any encryption, we can take simple examples. Students will find different ways to do something else. No, yes or no? If this is a procedure, so if there is a extra condition comes, so they may go in a different directions to overcome those things. So always there is some different way to attack on these encryptions or decryptions. But so that is one type of attack. So finding some different way to determine the private key, but given public key. See, if the opponent is not knowing the public key, so he may not able to determine the private key. So given public key. So there is always a danger in this type of the systems public cryptography. So anyhow, some way will be there to attack. And the next one is again it is similar to brute force attack, but we should know or we should remember the name of that. So that is called probable message attack. So this is very simple. Suppose if I am using 56 key DES to transmit the data. Okay. So the opponent, what he will do is he will generate all possible private keys from the given public keys. Okay. So then he will try to match with ciphertext. So to determine the encryption key or the actual key, we can say, determine the private key, we can say. So it is just a matching and generating all possible private keys to determine the actual private. Okay. Is this attack is clear? Probable message attack means trying all the private keys from the, suppose he knows that the transmitting is happening with the 56 key DES. So from the 56 keys, so that means whatever the possible combination transformation, 2 power 56 possible combination. So he will try to generate all possible private keys. Then he will try to match with the ciphertext. So to determine the actual private. Yes, clear to all of you? Please confirm. Any questions?
No, sir.
Clear, Galma?
Sir.
So right. So now we'll come to the RSA. So there will be very few. I mean, 6 steps will be there. We can easily remember, and we can easily encrypt, and we can easily decrypt. So please follow those. But before that, so this was developed by 3 scientists or 3 researchers: Rivest, Shamir, and Edelman. So that is why it is called as RSA algorithm at MIT. So Rivest, Shamir, Edelman algorithm. So is the most widely accepted and implemented for public key encryption. So now how it will be? Generally it is a block cipher only. Okay, it is a block cipher technique only, but suppose there is a message which is having large number of data string that can be converted into number of blocks. So each block can be encrypted. So here the plain text and ciphertext are integers between 0 and n minus 1 for some n. That means suppose one block is there. So that block integer can be represented by any number from the 0 to n minus 1. So how? We'll see. So now we will come to the what we call description of the RSA algorithm. So what are the steps? We will see one by one. So as I told that mathematical functions. So here we are using expressions with exponentials like m power e, m power d, c power d, etc. Now here see plain text is encrypted in blocks as I already told, but each block having a binary value which is must be less than n. So what is that n? How to find that n? We will see. So the number of message block or binary value must be less than some number n. So how to find that number n? What is the procedure? That also we will see. So that means the block size must be less than or equal to, this is one equation is there, you can remember, log n base 2 plus 1. If n is equal to suppose 2 power 10, then it will be 10 plus 1. Okay, that is the one condition. Suppose if the block is containing I bits, so here the condition is 2 power I less than n less than or equal to 2 power I plus 1. So this is the condition for n. So n must be between these two. If I is equal to 10 or I is equal to 5, etc. So we have to choose the n as like this. But how to choose? We'll see. So far, is it clear? Message block binary number must be less than some number n. But how to choose that number n? This is the condition. If I is equal to 10 or I is equal to 5. So we have to choose the number n like this. So how to choose that also I will explain. Now think that clear, Dada? Any question, ma? Sir, one of us lost connection. Okay, I joined. No, no one is waiting, man. Try to, I mean, tell him that. Try to reconnect one more time. I will accept. I am admitting all. But tomorrow, from tomorrow or from the next class onwards, after 9:05, I won't allow. So now think that. Now I'm doing some process. See. Now see, suppose this is the sender. In our case, suppose Bob. This is the receiver or destination. In our case, Alice. Now, simple case, encryption or decryption. So initially, what happens are Alice will generate pair of keys. who will generate the receiver, in our case Alice. So one is called public key, PUB, another is called private key, okay, or PU, public, private, PR. B means A and B, so no need. So public and private key will be generated by the receiver or Alice, and she will transmit that public key to the sender. Then he will perform the encryption using algorithm, and that will be transferred to the receiver, and she will use her private key to decrypt the message. Got the point here? So the key generation will be performed by the Alice or receiver side. So encryption is performed by the public key generated by the receiver, and using the, what is the steps? That steps we need to see. Is it clear, all of you? So the denotation public key and private key. Now see the algorithm. Algorithm in the sense, first see some explanation or the expressions. So in the encryption, ciphertext C is equal to message power E modulo of n. So this is the encryption equation. We will see what is E, what is n, etc. So here public key will be denoted by E comma n. So this is the one number which will be generated. How? We will see by the receiver. So public key is represented by E comma n. That is the reason here M is called message. M is our message or message block, message, and E is part of public key, and N is also part of public. Is it clear? This is the exponential, correct? And we know the modulo operation. Please confirm, is it clear to all of you? Ciphertext is equal to M power E modulo n. But how to find n, etc. we'll see. Then when you perform the decryption, what we will get? We will get the message which is equal to ciphertext power D. B is the private key modulo n. And we know what is the C, ciphertext. And here the private key will be denoted by D comma n. So these are the two expressions for the encryption and decryption. But how to get the values, we will see. So far, is it clear? Encryption and decryption, what is the public key representation, what is the private key representation. So shall I go further? Please confirm. Is it clear? Right. So now, whatever I explained, they are there. See here. So both sender and receiver must know the value of n. Yes, because it is a part of public key or private key. So the sender knows the value of E. Yes, because it is a part of public key. And the only receiver should know the value of D. Yes or no? Then only it will be called as a private key. Are you getting my point? So sender knows the value of E, and only receiver should know the value of D. And as I explained already, how to represent the public and private key is something like this. So public key is represented by E comma n, private key is represented by D comma n. Yes? This is for your understanding purpose. You can read later. I will share the PPT. So now, shall we find how to get the E value, how to get the D value, etc. Yes. Ma, so far, any questions? Is it clear? Yes, please confirm it. I'll explain the procedure. Okay. So now see the steps to generate keys. So steps to generate keys. Who will perform these steps? Please tell me. Who will perform these steps? Yes. Who will perform?
Receiver, sir.
Yes, receiver side. So now see, select two large prime numbers. Tell me what is a prime number? Which integer will be called as a prime number?
The integer that is divisible only by itself and 1.
So the factors must be the number itself and only one, correct?
Yes. 1 and the number itself. Yes, sir.
Yeah, number and which has only two factors, which is itself and the one. Suppose, so what are the prime numbers? Example, can I give 3? Is it 2 is a prime number?
Yes, sir.
5, 7,
Yes, sir. 7.
11, 13, 17, 19, etc. Okay. Now see the condition. See the condition. Large prime number. If I use 3, 5, 7, it will be somewhat difficult. Easy to decrypt the message because possible combinations will be very small. So they can easily decrypt or determine the private key. So we have to choose the large, maybe 7 and 11, 13 and 17, 19 and so on. But we'll see in the example. If we take the large prime numbers, what is the complexity will come, etc. We'll see completions. So once we choose the large prime numbers denoted by P and Q, then we have to calculate n here. So how to calculate n? Just multiply these two prime numbers. So that is how to choose or how to calculate n value, which is, it must be in between 2 power I to 2 power I plus 1 only. Clear so far? So the next one is the called as Euler's twoshent function. Pi of n. Actually, this should be denoted by something like this. Pi of n, but I didn't find any symbol there, so that's why I have written pi of n, which is equal to p minus 1 into q minus 1. So this is called as Euler's twoshent function. Okay. So actually, what is this? Just see. This is to find the relative primes or co-primes, etc. Suppose if I want to find pi of 10, or if I want to find pi of 25. So what are the factors for 10? Can I say 5 into 2? And what are the factors for this? It is 5 into 5 only, correct? So write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just cancel out the factors. So 2 can be cancelled out. 2 into 2, 4. 5 is gone. 2 into 3, 2 into 4, 2 into 5. So what are the remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers only. So the remaining are not a, we can say, co-primes, or they are not a prime number. Similarly, 1 to 25 means we have to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. So what are the letters or integers will be cancelled out? So 5, 10, 15,
15, 20, 25.
20, 25. So how many are gone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then what is the remaining number will be 20, correct? Right. So the remaining letters will be 20. Similarly, suppose pi of 7. Can anybody tell? Only 7 will be cancelled. Remaining how many? 6.
Six numbers.
So here one concept is there. If this number is prime number, the value will be p minus 1. If pi of p, if I want, if p is a prime, then the value will be p minus 1. Okay? As this is 25 is not a prime, so that's why we got 20. But if I go for pi of 23, so what is the value you will get directly? Yes,
22.
directly 22. So here you should write like this. Pi of p is equal to p minus 1 if p is prime number. Okay. So this is the conditions must be satisfied when the encryption is happening. So first large prime numbers, then multiplication of those, then we have to find quotient function. This function will be used to determine what we call private key and public key. Now see, 4 and 5 is generating E and D value. So here select E such that E is relatively prime to pi of n. I will tell you the condition, and E must be less than pi of n. Okay, so we have to select. So it is like a random. So anyone can select anyone, but that must be relatively prime to pi of n. Next, how to select D? So it must satisfy one condition, that is D into E. Once we know E, we have to calculate a D such that product of D into E, when I modulo of pi of n, that must be equal to 1. See carefully. Once we know E value, by trial and error method using this equation, if this product, if I do the modulo operation with the pi of n, that must be equal to 1. Once I do an example, you get more clarity. Just remember that we have to select E. So that is a selection. But how that selection must be happen? It must be relatively prime to pi of n. But how it is relatively prime to pi of n? There is a one procedure. That procedure I will tell you. Clear so far? All these 5 steps?
Yes, sir.
This
Clear.
is very simple. 4 and 5 is most important to selecting D and the E values. Now see this. So this is anyway PQ 2 prime numbers. They are private but chosen. N is equal to PQ. We have to calculate, but it is a public, because public in the sense it will be known by the sender, it will be known by the receiver or any user which are there in the that particular network. Now this is the step. How to select a E? If I take the GCD of E comma pi of n, that must be equal to 1. Greatest common divisor, right? Yes or no? Now we'll see one or two examples. Suppose 3 comma 8. Suppose pi of n is equal to 8. 3 comma 8. So how to find the divisor is something like this. Just divide with 3. So 3 to 6. Remainder is 2. Then divide 3. So 2 ones 2. What is the remainder? 1. So that means yes, this is one combination. Did you get my point here? How to find the value? One more example. Suppose pi of n is equal to 20. Just example. Okay, na? So we have to choose this number in such a way that GCD will become 1. So that is a random. I can choose 5, I can choose 3, I can choose 7, I can choose any number. Generally we will go for the prime numbers. Suppose if I take 7 and 20. So divide 7 2s 14, 6, then 7. So 6 ones 6, the remainder is 7. So now 7 and 20, yes, the GCD of this will become 1. So that means we can choose E is equal to 7 in this case, if pi of n is equal to 20. Is this clear? How to choose E? Please confirm. All of you, clear, ma? Any question? Now, how to select B value? See carefully. So, how to select D? So, what is the condition? D into E modulo of pi of n must be equal to 1. Actually, the condition is something like this: D triple equal E inverse modulo pi of n. When we take E inverse this side, D into E, and when we take both side modulo operation, then this is the actual equation will be there. Now, suppose let's say E is equal to 7. Okay, so 7 and D, and the modulo operation when we got pi of n is 20. Example. So modulo 20, which is equal to 1. Now see carefully how to choose. D into 7, not D7. Now when we will get equal to 1 remainder, when you see when there is a 21 by 20, what is the remainder? Tell me, what is the remainder? It is 1. Yes or no? So we have to choose this product in such a way that this modulo operation will give the remainder 1. How? If I choose D is equal to 3, then obviously the 7 into 3, 21. Yes, this will be satisfied. Then in that case, D is equal to 3. Clear? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose next case. Let's say pi of n is equal to some 50. Okay. In that case, E is equal to suppose 11. Just example. So now how to choose D? So DE modulo 50 is equal to 1. And E we know already. So D into 11 into modulo 50. Now can you tell me how to choose? 51 is possible here by multiplication? No, right? So 51 is not possible by multiplication. If I choose 3, 33. If I choose 4, 44. If I choose 5, 55. So now in that case, how to choose? Just see here. So what I am doing here is, so this is fixed in 11. So 51 is one case. That means 50 into 1 plus 1 will become 51. 50 into 2 plus 1, how much? 101. Now with the 11 multiplication is 101 is possible? Tell me. So 11 into 1, 11.
No.
11 into 7, 77. 11 into 10, 110 or 99. So now 50 into 3 plus 1. How much, ma? 151. 151 is possible with 11.
No.
What is 11 12s or 11 13s? Please tell me. Anyone
11
have
13s is 143.
143. 11 14 means
11 14 is 154.
154. So not possible. So one more. 50 into 4 plus 1. 201. And then, so 201 is possible with 11. 154.
No.
11 17 and
11 17s. 187.
so 11 19s.
209.
So 209. So it is not also possible. Next case. If you know this concept, you can do any problem. That's why I'm going for this. So please tell me what is the possible combination? Where was it? 54s. Next 55s.
That is also not there.
So 451. Okay, 50 into 9. Huh? Okay, very good. So 50 into 9 plus 1. So 456 ಇದೆ. 451. Sorry, 451. So 11 times how much? 11. How many times? ఇది కావాలి. Which will give 451. Very simple. 451 by 11. ఎంత వస్తుంది? 451 by 11.
41, sir.
41. Huh? So 11 41s will give correct. 11 into 41, which will give 451. So that means D must be 41 and E is 11. Clear? Huh? How to choose the D value? See, that is the computationally, yeah, it may take some time, but computationally easy. But on the decrypting side or determining the private key, it is somewhat difficult. Yes or no? If we go for the large prime, see, when I choose 11 only, this is the computation. If I choose 23, if I choose 41, if I choose something else, so it will, the complexity will increase, or computational time will increase. Got the point,
Sir,
all of you? Yeah.
In the actual implementation, how many digits prime number is used? I mean,
Prime number?
yeah,
Yeah.
P and Q.
Generally more than 2. Or at least 2
That's
digits.
it.
We will see that once we do some examples, we will know. Okay, it is confusing. Roll number 50. Okay, I will explain one more example. It will be clear. See, based on the application, we have to choose these prime numbers. Generally, the user or receiver will not do this. Server side, the application what we are using, it is already there in the cryptography. So they will perform all these things and they will implement in the systems. So
Okay.
if the application should be very, very confidential, they will go for the different, very 3 digits numbers or 4 digits, 5 digits and so on.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. So 50, don't worry, I will do one more example, you can get some clarity. This is the summary. So this is the key generation by Alice. Selecting P and Q, calculating N, calculating pi of N, then selecting integer E, this is the condition, then calculated E, this is the condition, then public key, private key. Clear all these points? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Then plain text and ciphertext. See here, the message must be less than 1, sorry, less than N. That is the first condition we have seen. Then this is the encryption. M power E modulo N. Then the decryption, just opposite, C power D. D is the private key. Modulo N here. Remember, don't confuse. Here we will use modulo pi of N. In the encryption, decryption, modulo N. Now I will explain one example. You will get some clarity. Roll number 50. Okay. I will explain one more time how to select a D. Yes. then we can finish the. We can stop there. Just see one more time. Roll number 50. Are you there? How to select
Yes, sir.
D. Suppose we are selected already. Suppose 3 mark. Pi of n is equal to. I will take suppose 30. Example. Up to now is it clear, kada? We can get pi of n is equal to 30 based on the P and Q value. Up to now is it clear to all of you? Yes, please
Yes, sir.
confirm. So
Yes,
condition
sir.
is D into E modulo pi of n, which is equal to 1. So that means D into 3 modulo 30 mark. Now two types of process we can go. That is, we know that when I perform the modulo operation, if I 31 modulo 30 will give remainder 1. All of you agree? 31 is 30, remainder is 1. Modulo operation will give the remainder. Or 32 is how much? 60. That means 61 modulo 30 also will give 1. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Next,
sir.
91 also will give remainder 1 because 33 is 90, remainder is 1. Next and so on. So that is what I have done in the previous case. So that means we can choose D or this multiplication either 31, 61, 91 and so on. So which combination will give? We have to choose D value. So now 3 is fixed. How we will get D as this one? If I take 10, 30 only. If I take 20, it is 60 only. Yes. Which combination will give 91? So 91 by 3. No, not possible. After this, 34 is 121. After that, 151. Which combination will give these products? Tell me. 121, I hope. 121 by 3 and mark? No. 151?
Sir, 3 and 30 are multiples, right? I guess you can't find any.
Yeah, where? Here.
Yes, sir. Like everything that is divisible by 3 is divisible by, 30 is divisible by 3.
Okay,
So,
any combination won't
no,
satisfy?
we won't get.
Okay. Okay, maybe we have to choose the different number. Take it as 25. No, 25. Okay. 40. Take it as a 40. Okay. Yeah, maybe. See, that is just a random I have taken. So it may not come. So if I choose 40, is it possible now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. I think it's 10. The concept is clear. At least 50. I can do example later. Few example.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Concept is clear.
Yeah. Don't worry. We will do 1 or 2 examples later so that we can get more clear. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. All of you. Thank you. You can proceed for the next lecture.
Thank you, sir.